Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. If you have been here before and if you haven't, welcome. This is a video in a series of our Zoom talks where we talk with different Nokaoi members about Zoom experience, pros, cons, and just really what are the thoughts of different members. Thought it would be helpful since all of us around the world are now having Toastmasters meetings on Zoom. And today we are talking with Hieu. Welcome, Hieu.
Thank you, Regina. Thanks for having me and thanks for setting up this talk.
Let's start with something I ask everybody at the beginning. How long have you been in Toastmasters in general? And what was your initial main goal? Why you joined the Toastmasters?
Thank you. I am a 13-year member of Toastmasters. My background is in civil engineering. That's where I got my degree. So I am a very technical person. So a little bit after I got my degree, my supervisor asked me to come see him. He said, "You are one of our best engineers. You're doing great. There's something that you can do to take your career to the next level." And that's when he mentioned Toastmasters. You should really check it out and see what it's all about. At first, I was a little bit hesitant because I am an engineer. I work with math, I work with science, I do a lot of numbers, so I don't do a lot of speaking. And the only speaking I had was doing my master's degree when I was doing my thesis. I had to defend my thesis. And that was a nerve-wracking event. And actually, that's what made me think about, okay, what if it didn't have to be nerve-wracking? What if I can just get up and talk in front of people? So I visited a few Toastmaster clubs, then I joined Toastmasters, and 13 years later, it has been actually the best experience, the best decision I've ever made, joining Toastmasters.
Everywhere in the world, Toastmasters clubs are in the same situation where we can't really have meetings in person and we have them on Zoom. What are your thoughts on Zoom meetings?
Well, I remember March 16th when they started shutting everything down around where I live. As soon as that was given, that message was given out to everyone, obviously we were meeting at a school, so the school shut down. So we were thinking, what can we do? Should we just cancel, just like all the other places have canceled? Everyone got together and said, no, let's try Zoom. We were one of the first clubs around where I live that did a Zoom meeting. That very next week, we had our first Zoom meeting. I know other clubs at that time did cancel. A lot of people didn't know what Zoom was. So we were one of the first ones. Our first meeting, we had a pretty decent attendance. We had 8-10 people there. And was it the best smoothly run meeting? Well, there were lots of improvements that could be made. It was our first Zoom meeting. We were trying to work out, like, you're supposed to unmute when you talk. And for you who've done lots of Zoom meetings, you can understand exactly how it must have been that very first Zoom meeting. Yeah. But now, after 6 months now, it's been 6 months since that meeting. We're like Zoom masters now. I absolutely love being able to have this particular talk, like me talking with you, Regina, that this would not have been possible at all if it wasn't for the Zoom format. So I am thankful for the Zoom format. Thank you.
Right, we would not even know each other. What would you say then is the biggest positives of Zoom meetings now, 6 months later?
That you can go to any Toastmasters around the world, and most likely they are having Zoom meetings, because unfortunately things are still at a point where there are lots of places that are shut down. But Toastmasters can keep going on. It's a positive way to connect with other people. Yeah, because there is quite a bit of negativity out there. We just try to bring out the positive. That's what Toastmasters is all about, bringing out the positives. So I have definitely taken advantage of that personally. I've visited a whole bunch of different clubs all over the world.
So talking about the visiting, how did you come first up with the idea, hey, wait a minute, I can visit other clubs? Like, what was the first time, do you remember?
I am a fairly active member, and even when I go out of town, I like to visit Toastmaster clubs. For example, my work has taken me lots of different places. I've been, I guess in the States, I've been to Alabama and to Texas. So when they sent me to Alabama, they sent me to Texas for a couple of days or for a week. After work, I visited Toastmasters club, and then I left. When they sent me to the Bahamas for a couple of days, that was a nice trip. We did our work, and I visited Toastmasters club. And then last year, they sent me to Hawaii, to the island of Kauai. It really is a beautiful island. I was there for 4 months doing work for my job. I enjoyed the scenery. I love going to all the different places. One of the things that made it beautiful was there is a Toastmasters club that meets on the island in Kauai, which I didn't know there would have been any Toastmasters, because that is one of the more remote places in the world. And I found the Toastmasters club, and I became a member. I was a member for 4 months. I was there. So even before all of the restrictions, when I have been visiting other places, I do look up Toastmasters. So once the restrictions were put on and Toastmaster clubs were meeting online, it was an easy, okay, I can go to different clubs now. Where next? That's the question. Where next?
True passionate Toastmaster here. It's this Zoom experience and visiting many different clubs around the world. Was there a club, was there something that happened, like some kind of significant experience that stood out for you from all these visits?
Besides the beautiful Noka Oi Toastmasters, which
Yes.
I definitely love yesterday's meeting, the 80s thing. I love that because I do love listening to 80s music. Yeah, besides Noka Oi, actually something that reached deeply to who I am is that I was born in Vietnam. I left Vietnam when I was a little kid, and I have not been back since I was a little kid. So I still haven't been back there physically, but there are Toastmaster clubs in Vietnam. That's another place. Well, I would never thought that there would be Toastmaster clubs in Vietnam, and that they will be holding their meetings in English. So I just showed up at a Toastmasters club, and when you join a meeting, on your screen at the bottom there you have your name as part of the screen on the lower left-hand corner. As soon as I joined, they saw my name and said, "Oh, Hieu, welcome to a meeting. Where are you from?" "The United States." "Oh, wow, welcome." And they were also welcoming. And the first thing is they said my name, because I have a very common Vietnamese name that you instantly know how to pronounce it. And Regina, I totally understand. If you're not from Vietnam, you wouldn't know how to pronounce it. But once I visited all these clubs in Vietnam and they recognized my name, and I kept visiting. In fact, a couple of days ago, I made another visit to one of the clubs in Vietnam, and they recognized me from the previous. "Oh, welcome back. You're from the U.S. You're from the United States. Welcome back. Hieu." So, it made me feel like home, and it definitely made me want to come back to visit Vietnam. Because before this year, I thought, yeah, maybe one day I would want to visit. But because of Toastmasters, I do want to come back to Vietnam within the next year or so, once restrictions are lifted, to see where I was coming from, and it was because of the Toastmasters Zoom meeting that made me feel that way. So that is something that made me feel really special.
Wow. Talk about positives
Oh yeah.
of this
Definitely.
experience. Let's see. Noka Oi Club. This was probably, I'm assuming, one of the clubs that you were like, okay, let me visit Maui Noka Oi Club. Now you visited. What was the reason that you thought, I want to come back and visit this club again and again? And then what was that deciding factor for you to join our club eventually, not just visit?
It's always the people. It's always the people. Because at all these Toastmaster clubs, you are doing the speeches, you're all doing all these other roles, but it's the people. It's the people you were able to connect with. And once I visited Nokoe, I felt like everyone was so fun. Everyone was so friendly. I feel like I would fit right in. And I don't know, we talked at the beginning that I feel like I was born to be a Hawaiian. I feel like I do have a piece of the aloha spirit. That my 4 months on the island of Kauai has given me that feeling of being laid back. And this club is if you're looking for a fun, laid back club, this is definitely one of the places you should definitely look into and becoming a member. So it's the members being so fun, so laid back. I definitely, after everything, all the restrictions are lifted, I definitely want to visit Maui and see everyone in person. I know we'll have a good time.
Yes, yes. See, and with your experience with Vietnam and also what you just said about Maui, it's almost like you connect this, like it gives more reason when you know somebody there in that country, in that area. Doesn't it like give also more reason to want to go there, because you're not going just like to completely new place without anything, just starting from zero, but you go there and you know there is somebody there that knows you already.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, because now I have like a dozen or so different places that I want to go after, because of all these Toastmaster clubs and meeting all these wonderful people. I want to meet everyone in person and maybe have a little fun time, vacation time too, but I do want to meet everyone in these clubs.
There's a question that just crossed my mind, was visiting different clubs. Do you notice that different clubs, or maybe different countries too, maybe it's also country-wise, like that they have different, like they have their own kind of a vibe, like each club, like that there's something that maybe can't even be expressed in words, but like, do you notice, even though we all do speeches, that we follow pretty much the same structure of the meeting and everything, but is there a difference?
Yeah, you can definitely feel the difference. I stopped keeping track of all the different clubs I've been to, and there are clubs that are nice, that would be great clubs for you to join. They just don't fit who I am, and that's fine. That's some clubs are really strict, they're by the rules, and that's a beautiful thing. I know there are lots of people who love that. That's just not particularly what I'm interested in. So there are different ways of communicating, the different ways of handling meetings, and that's what the beauty about Toastmasters is. Completely diverse.
Let's talk a little bit more about the differences preparing speeches and giving speech. Do you notice that there is a difference in what you think, maybe before you give a speech, like preparing speech, how you're going to do it now that it's on Zoom versus in person, and also when you are giving a speech via Zoom? Do you think of different things while you give speech and have them in your mind versus when you were giving speech in person?
There is definitely a difference. Right now, we're in a little box, a tiny little box where everything, it's hard for me to do you can't see what I'm doing with my hands. I'm trying to wave my hands, but you can't see what I'm doing. You do have a little control with the technology. For example, let's see if I can change my background in the middle of our talk. Do this. Oh yeah, I'm now at the beach. I'm now relaxing at the beach. So there is a positive technology part in that you can control your background. You can do PowerPoint presentations a lot easier. You can have sound effects a lot easier where everyone can hear. So there are definitely differences, positives. There are positives either way of having Zoom meetings and in-person meetings. Each has their own positives. So you just adjust to it, just like we've all adjusted to our current situations.
This is kind of like this whole situation, I feel like, has been also like there are some life lessons. But sometimes if we are dropped into a situation where we have to change like most of the things that we are used to, we can still adjust and something good can come out of it.
Yeah, definitely. And in Toastmasters, we are all here to help each other. Something that we can't do at Zoom meetings that you don't get the benefit from in-person meetings is the personal touch. Yeah, I didn't talk about that. The personal touch.
And the thing that you missed the most from your club's meetings. This was important. This was fun. Yes.
Yeah, the personal touch. Obviously, it's part of our culture in the regular meetings, in-person meetings, that once you're done with a speech, you shake hands with someone coming back to the stage and you go back down. So shaking hands is a big part of our meetings. Well, now obviously we can't do that. And even if we come back to Zoom meetings, I don't know what we will be doing. I don't know if we will be just saying hi to each other or maybe bowing down. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing a little bow as a courtesy for everyone. But yeah, it's the personal touch, being able to hug fellow members. Because I feel in Toastmasters, I made a lot of friends. And so we do like to hug each other and just be there for each other. So I definitely miss the personal touch. And part of being the personal touch is that in one of our clubs, we have a special role. Clubs, we meet for 2 hours, and in the break, in the middle of the meeting, we have a role called a snack master. And someone brings in snacks for everyone to eat while we're socialized. And sometimes the snack master goes overboard and brings like chicken or pizza or lots of sandwiches for us to eat. So that is definitely something that I miss from the in-person meetings that I don't get with Zoom. And when I get a chance to visit Maui, someone should be a snack master there, right? I am a member of a Toastmasters club in Florida. And now I'm also a member of a Toastmasters club in Maui. I just happen to work and live in Florida. It's just one of the great things about this Zoom meeting. No Ka'oi is one of the most diverse clubs anywhere in the world. There's so many different people, so many wonderful people from lots of different backgrounds. Even when it was in person, I can tell by the membership of the in-person people in Maui that there is a diverse group in No Ka'oi on Maui. And then now that it's opened up to everywhere across the world, you have people from Germany, people like me from the US, from Florida, and we have a member from New York.
We've been talking a lot about, like, how fun, how great it is to meet new people and things that happen, but let's let people know that we do improve our public speaking skills as well.
Well, actually, yeah, that's something we didn't talk about because we're just having so much. Actually, yeah, you realize how much fun you're having with Toastmasters, but it does definitely give you a big confidence boost. That's what Toastmasters give. Because when you are trying to speak in front of a group, I know lots of people who are just scared to death. I know there's this joke about rather being in a funeral, rather being the guy in the casket than the guy giving the eulogy. I know that joke's been given. But a lot of people do feel this fear. Mm-hmm. After being in Toastmasters so many years, getting so many speeches, I just don't have that fear at all when I'm getting ready to prepare or give a speech. I know I get excited, but same way you get excited for a birthday or you get excited, I don't know, sometimes you get excited riding a roller coaster. So you develop, maybe you have a fear roller coaster, but it can become excitement. that's what Toastmasters can do. It can channel whatever you're feeling and make it a positive, so that when you're not feeling the fear, it will help you actually give better speeches. I feel the same way. If I'm in front of a group of 10, 20, 30, 100 people, it's just me talking to someone in the crowd. It's just having a one-on-one conversation. That's what Toastmasters has done for me.
Besides all the fun that we're having, we learn too something.
Yeah. And everyone's there to help you. So if you're unsure of what to talk about or how to organize your talks, we can go through all the technical aspects of all of that too. So there is help for you, and there's a whole online platform to help guide you through. So there's all of that.
Come to the end of our conversation here. Thank you, Hieu, for taking your time to participate in this project and sharing your thoughts and insights regarding Zoom.
Thank you. And definitely visit the Noko'oi Toastmasters. I absolutely love the club. Like I've joined the club. I'm a member. Even though I am in Florida, I just loved it so much that I joined the club. I attend pretty much every week now. I've been attending as a weekly member, and I just love being at the meetings. Like I said before, I just love the themes. Yesterday we had an 80s theme, which I loved listening. So you just meet so many wonderful people at Noko'oi. And yes, you do improve public speaking. We definitely can help you with that. Thank you.